in my living room because, again, my kitchen is empty.
Hey, we're live on YouTube, you guys.
Oh, I just got a notification because I am using a Microsoft product now.
That happens. I'm sorry. People they complain to me about like my Windows, blah blah blah, and I'm like,
I complain to Dan all the time. That's like the whole reason I'm Margot's friend is so I can bitch to him.
Right?
Sorry, Margot, don't listen to this part.
I know people complain to me all the time about anything Microsoft, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll just like send a note to the Windows department and tell them to stop making that pop up happen.
Yeah.
So I guess we should reschedule CatCon for Geek Girl Con weekend.
Was everyone going to come here now? We'll work this out later. We'll work it out later.
Sorry, it's really good beer.
That's good. No, I'm glad.
I'm a hilarious lightweight.
Hello, everyone. Hello. No, I'm doing it. I'm doing the intro now. Hello, and welcome to Totally Legit Podcast, episode 115.
Oh yeah, we changed our name.
Where have you been?
My head has been all over the place.
Yeah, I can't think why. We had that incredibly stressful meeting and demo, and fuck it, we worked hard for nothing.
Is it 115? I've forgotten what number it was. It is 114.
69.
Welcome to the Totally Legit Podcast, episode 114 for the week of May 28th, 29th. You know, Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day weekend.
In the United States.
In the United States, that is very true. Last weekend was the Canadian long weekend, otherwise known as May 2-4, because we called a set of 24 beer a 2-4, and it's the first long weekend of the summer. So all of Canada calls it May 2-4 weekend because we drink a shitload of beer. America just calls it Memorial Day, so that's not as fun.
I
went to a beer and burger festival yesterday.
Dead people as opposed to beer.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
Beer while we talk about the dead people.
Isn't Memorial Day is not even like the main day?
It is for the U.S. Yes.
What about more than Veterans Day these days?
Veterans Day is for currently serving. Memorial Day is for dead service members.
Yes, people who died in the line of service.
Basically, it's Remembrance Day, except Americans think poppies are, I don't know,
for girls.
Wussy. Yeah, for girls, I guess, is the deal.
Yeah. So we're talking about video games today, surprisingly enough.
Video games where you shoot people.
That is the plan. It's the Overwatch first year anniversary celebration. Arrow's going to talk a bit about that. I took a 4-day weekend. We're calling it a staycation. I started Persona 5 on Friday morning, and as of today, I've currently played 26 hours of it. It's Sunday night. So I've played a lot of Persona 5 lately, is what I'm saying, and I'm going to talk about it with you two who don't care, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
I've never played a Persona game, so I'm super excited to hear about it, actually.
Wow. All right. Well, prove me wrong. God, my cynicism was totally misplaced. I'm afraid to ask, but Aerolade, how's your weekend going?
I am super drunk, and I've been this drunk since about noon on Friday.
Sweet. Sweet. Excellent. Good. Ellie, how's your weekend going? Have you also been drunk since Friday?
I haven't been drunk since Friday, but yesterday I definitely went to a beer and burger festival and drank as much as I could in like the hour that they were serving while I was there.
Nice.
Hopefully it was good beer.
Yeah, it was all local craft beer stuff from the Northern California Bay Area, whatnots.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my projects for the weekend, well, actually, it was Vajra's project. He's making saiwa, which is a particular kind of Thai street sausage. So it involved like lots of aromatics and charring things yesterday and fermentation. And then today we actually put the sausage in the sausage casings, which we've never done before. And I was telling you guys before we started recording, my kitchen is like a meat explosion right now because it's just like, it just goes everywhere.
Are you going to do it again?
Vajra specifically said about halfway through the process, he was like, I'm not going to do this again.
I cannot imagine how obnoxious casing sausage must be.
It is really obnoxious.
And I say this as someone who has glitter bombed her dining room so often that my blinds glow. Seriously, it's hilarious.
It is really obnoxious. But, you know, intestines are surprisingly tough.
Wow, that's the best out of context line I've ever heard.
Yes.
You put
They
that on
are
Twitter.
surprising.
Right.
So you can grab them and squeeze them and all kinds.
So
I've been making sausage puns all day, Arrow.
How come on like cooking shows when they have like a speed sausage making contest, they're always breaking the casing and getting it everywhere and getting yelled at?
I think if you were speeding through it, I could see how you could break it, and plus like air bubbles and stuff, and you have to be kind of like, we just sort of like would put through a chunk at a time and really slowly and make sure everything was where it was supposed to be. But I will say at the end of the day, we've ended up with about 5 pounds of really good looking sausage. Yeah, I just said that.
5 pounds is so much sausage. Oh my God.
You probably have a butcher around, right?
Yeah. But
can you buy Thai sausages at the butcher?
No, the Saiwa sausages are actually pretty difficult to come across because they're kind of Thai street food and with the particular herbs, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get them.
Can you do the thing that they do with like seafood sausage, quote unquote sausage, where they like just don't actually put it in a casing, but you like wrap it in saran wrap and poach it or something?
I think we probably could. We also cooked one up as just like a loose sausage patty earlier to make sure the flavor was right, and it tasted like sausage, and it looks like
that's pretty awesome.
Am I the only one picturing So I Married an Axe Murderer here?
No, that movie is amazing. I love that movie.
That movie is amazing.
That movie is really good. Yeah. So that was kind of what I did this weekend based on sausage and Persona. Oh, and for some reason I decided to refurbish an old IKEA china cabinet that has that like birch veneer on it. Don't do that. That's my advice.
They're building an IKEA in Nashville. I'm so excited.
There's like less than a millimeter of veneer.
Yeah, I know, but then you'll prime it and paint it, and you drill holes in it to put new handle hardware in it, and then it just kind of.
Can you drill? Oh wow! I don't think I've ever successfully added a hole to an IKEA furniture piece because it's all like hollow inside.
It's like particle board. Yeah, press board. Yeah.
I've never actually owned IKEA furniture because their shipping costs are so ridiculous. So I'm really excited that there's now an IKEA within driving distance.
I want to redo my kitchen and do it at IKEA because it will be way cheaper than a real store. And I don't care if it lasts for 45 years. I only care if it lasts for 15.
Oh, yeah. I can't
build houses that last for 45 years anymore.
Right.
I mean, my house is made of particle board with brick facing.
A lot of my furniture is like 20 years old IKEA. So I was like, I'm just going to, birch veneer, which was really cool. Like 20 years ago, it's not so cool anymore. So I'm like, I'm just going to redo it. And don't do it.
Speaking of brick facing, so the house across the street from us, this is a good story. House across the street from us is for sale. And I'm actually thinking about it because they've got a pool and we just rent here. And yeah, it's nice. But after the showing on Friday, the realtor left the door open. I guess she didn't pull it all the way closed. And then we had a really terrible windstorm. So the door is wide ass open all weekend. And so I swear to, like, we have neighborhood cats that live outdoors and they visit every house and eat food. Those went in there and there were a bunch of grackles. And I swear to God, there was a bat. And they had an open house today. And I watched her try to shoo the birds out the front door. It was awesome. Anyway, that's my story.
I thought that was going with like a tiny child with a 360-degree cam getting a free open house situation.
Man, I should have taken the kids to their pool yesterday. That would have been great because our community pool is way too small for this many houses. And it's full of teenagers who like to make out on the lounge chairs. And honey, you're 15. Please go to your basement where you belong.
Teenagers. Making out at the pool as a teenager is like, that's like a right.
Yeah, but not when my 6-year-old is there and pointing at them going, Mommy, what are they doing? I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm not emotionally prepared to have that conversation until she's at least 12.
That's fair. That's reasonable. Overwatch 1 year anniversary, and they brought out a whole bunch of really cool skins.
They did bring out a whole bunch of really cool skins. Unfortunately, all the skins are legendary, which means they're all really expensive. Overwatch does this thing that I actually really like where like everything comes from RNG, but then you can buy it with the coins that you get for getting garbage that you already have, which is cool, except legendary skins are super expensive. They're 3,000 coins and you only get like 55 coins for a duplicate. So the fact that every skin is legendary and like everyone who didn't get a skin in the last event has a skin this time. And they also have legendary emotes, which are all great. Everyone has a different dance style. It's terrific. But it's so expensive. And they also don't have just the event stuff in the boxes. So I think I've earned like 7 or 8 boxes since the event started. And they've all been like regular stuff that I could get at any other time during the year. And that is some bullshit. And people have been complaining about that. Like there's something wrong with the RNG. It's not just me getting screwed, as I am sure you recall from your loot spreadsheets when we raided together. I already got my one skin for this month, so I'm fucked. I'm going to have to buy it all. And we'll see. But more people than just me have complained about getting only blues and silvers and all duplicates that people already had from the regular loot table, which I find super interesting. And also the arcade mode that they have for the event is called Total Mayhem. And they had it before when they used to do a different arcade mode every week where it's everyone's got 200% health and all of the cooldowns are at least halved. So it's basically all bombs all the time. And it's hilarious, except they didn't have Ana when they did this before, and one of Ana's special abilities is a sleep dart. And when you drop her cooldown, you basically get stun locked like you're a priest in Warsong Gulch. All the time, forever. And it's terrible, especially since they don't have diminishing returns. One of the reasons why I loved PvP in the Old Republic so much is there was actually, they called it the resolve meter, where once you're stun locked, it ups your resolve meter, and then the stun doesn't last as long the next time. So you can't get permanently stunned. Unfortunately, with Ana's sleep dart cooldown, she can just keep shooting you, and you spend the entire match asleep. And it is the most unfun I have ever had in my life, to the point where I will leave a match if the opposing team has an Ana. And that's real sad, and they need to work on that. But otherwise, I think Overwatch has a free weekend this weekend. So if you don't own Overwatch, I highly recommend you give it a try, at least for a day. It'll probably be over by the time this is published. Fuck it. I don't care. Leave or play Overwatch for that long. Just that long. Because they've managed to, like, I hate shooters and I hate first-person games, but they've managed to find this complete sweet spot in the field of vision where I don't get motion sick. And it's like a unicorn magic.
They recently changed the Heroes of the Storm system to match the Overwatch system. That was just like a few weeks ago. So it also works like you have the boxes and you can
re-roll in Heroes of the Storm, though.
Yes, you can.
I had to play Heroes for 4 weeks to get an adorable Diva skin. By the way, Heroes is the most unfun game I have ever played in my life.
I like Heroes. I did you had to do like 5 matches or something with a friend to get the first round of whatever their special thing was.
Yeah.
And I did that, but I really like Heroes, and I really wish that there was some easy way for me to play with people who I could, knew were not terrible monsters. Because I would want to play that game, because every time I play it, I'm like, gosh, this is so much fun. I'm having such a good time. But then you imagine putting yourself into the whole matchmaking system, and no.
It wasn't even the people for me. It was the actual game. Was so completely, totally unfun in every possible way. Like, my sister plays the crap out of it because it's free. And she loves it. It plays it all the time. And she saw me online playing Heroes, and she's like, oh my God, we have to play together. And I'm like, no, I am uninstalling as soon as I have my adorable Diva skin, because fuck this fucking game.
What is it you like? Have you ever played like League of Legends?
No.
Okay. So
I've never played a MOBA before in my life.
What is it about the MOBA that you don't enjoy?
What I hated the most, what was the most frustrating for me, is that you have to click target and click move. And the hitbox is so small that I ended up, I was trying to click on someone to heal them, say, and I would end up actually standing in front of the giant guard tower that then immediately killed me. And the increased death timer, oh my God, die in a motherfucking fire. Jesus Christ. So, yes, I would love to sit here for 90 seconds with my thumb up my ass. Thanks very much.
Stop eating.
I feel like I've played like just enough MOBAs to get the basic mechanics down. And I think we did that when we all tried to play League of Legends for like a month. And after I did that and like cut my teeth on League, which is a lot less forgiving than Heroes and the like one match of of Dota 2 that I ever tried to play, which was even more ridiculously unforgiving, because in that one you can't even lock the camera to your character.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which I think fundamentally is better in some ways for doing advanced stuff, but yeah, that's exactly the right emotion for somebody trying to learn it. And like Heroes doesn't have the only person that gets XP is the last hit,
Correct.
Which is a staple of MOBAs and is fucked.
Heroes is much more teamwork focused, so everyone shares XP. I mean, I'm not like don't like MOBAs. That's totally cool. I was just curious about why.
I actually did pretty well playing Smite for a while in the beta or alpha, because it was like a over-the-shoulder third-person-y version, and like that mechanic worked way better for me. So I got to learn the sort of like generic MOBA thing before I had to do like the isometric, click to target thing. Which
I think Gigantic is also third person.
Never heard of that game before. I have never heard of that in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like the big thing at PAX a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure I might have even played it with you. So,
which one was? Are you sure? Because I haven't been to PAX in a couple of years.
Oh, maybe not. Okay, I did. I played it with a bunch of people, so maybe
I played Smite a whole bunch of PAX. That was fun.
Gigantic, I think it didn't find the funding it was looking for, so it might be in tenuous existence, but was kind of the same thing with third-party MOBA or third-person MOBA. Sorry.
I mean, I think it's I think if you're not used to it, it's like a very specific, unique type of game, and it's a very specific control scheme, and if you don't like one or both of those, it would be hard to get into any of them. Plus, like, Heroes is like, there's weird depth to Heroes. That
Do you mean visually, or
no, I mean like you have to pick every few levels. You have to pick some skill to level up, and there's no good obvious way to do it. And you can't. I don't even think.
And you always die while you're reading your skills, because fuck if you know.
Yeah, I did play a lot of
seriously
games.
Fuck that game.
I did play a lot of games on super easy against super easy bots with friends, so I didn't really care if I wasn't doing anything. That helped.
Well, unfortunately, you had to play quick play versus other people in order to get all of the Overwatch stuff.
Yeah, I would not.
Which I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was I do enjoy Heroes relatively, with the exception of having to play with other people. But but if we have like there have been rare times where I've gotten like 10 people together, I know, from Twitter or whatever, and we play both sides, and it's a jolly good old time. But they have moved to the new loot box system that Overwatch has always had and seems to be working for Blizzard.
I'm sure they get huge money out of it. What I want is for the reroll to come to Overwatch. That would be so great, so great, so great, because right now it's so depressing to see my box open, because they give you the coins before they tell you what it is.
Right.
And so you open the box and you're like, oh, good, look, it's a yellow coin. I'm going to get something legendary. No, it's just gold. But I open my boxes and I'm always silver, 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 blue every time. And that's spray, 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 duplicate player icon. Hooray!
Yeah, that sucks. They should come up with a way to reroll, because I spent a decent amount of gold in Heroes rerolling some of my boxes.
Yeah, before Friday, I was just going to buy a big batch of boxes and open those all up. But I can't now!
So speaking of Blizzard, Destiny 2 also had a big announcement this week, and they're going to be on Battle.net, which is kind of a coup for Blizzard, although I guess they're both Activision published. So
hey, yeah. I was trying to figure out what the
took me
the marketing synergy was there. I can't believe I just used synergy in a sentence. I'm so sorry. But like, why would Destiny be on Battle.net?
It took me like 2 days to get there, but like everybody, like it's a little bit of a surprise that it's not on Steam or its own thing, like literally every other fucking game is these days. But I don't know. I know you guys don't really care too much about Destiny, except it's coming to PC.
It's coming to PC. Between it being on PC and it being on BattleNet, I actually am fairly certain I will end up buying Destiny 2.
Why? Because it's on BattleNet.
Because I have years and years and years and years of friends on BattleNet.
And you possibly also have enough WoW gold to buy it for free.
Maybe, although once that announcement came out about Destiny 2, the price of tokens went through the freaking roof.
That's hilarious. I mean, that's horrible, but hilarious.
They take my delicious free play market, so that's too bad. But yeah, because the fact that I already have like all my friends already on BattleNet, that's going to make it super easy for me to find people to play with, which ostensibly they want me to do.
Yeah, that's fair. You do need people to play with Destiny after a point. So Destiny's endgame is very much like WoW's endgame, which is basically, raids and instances, and PvP after a little while. But they added as far as I can tell, it's very much Destiny and some more Destiny, right? There's not I can't tell how much is really new or different. I have no idea what the actual gunplay is going to be like on PC, because it's very much a console first, and it plays super, super nice on a console. But my guess is it'll play really well on PC because they are redesigning it and they got it really right the first time. So
it's sort of funny that Destiny, which really pushed the whole fact that it's like the first console MMO, which it's not, but they really like emphasized.
No, they tried so hard to not call themselves an MMO.
Okay, I'm sorry, but they did really push the fact that they were console and it was, refreshing. And now they're like, okay, PC can play too now. Yeah, it's cool. Which, I mean, I think it's a good change. And I know a lot of people like myself who would not have bought it for a console that are more likely to buy it when it's on PC. And I think it's so smart to be on BattleNet. Although, aren't they rebranding that to BlizzardNet? Which I thought was
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Whatever it is. I think that's really, really smart because there's like so many old school MMO types have a lot of friendship networks on BattleNet.
Yeah, I don't know anybody on BattleNet. Like I never really. Well, I mean, I know some people, but it's never been a place where I would go looking for friends that I didn't already have from WoW. And by the time BattleNet was a thing, I wasn't really like friends listing people, or like it was like quit shortly after it became a thing to friends list people. And I never played enough Diablo or Hearthstone or Heroes or Overwatch to build up that network again. But I mean, like, yeah, I know you guys, so I know enough people. Like, all I need to do is like get in that, and then it'll be fine. And I'll probably play it on both PlayStation and PC.
That was the one thing I found disappointing, is that it's not cross-platform. If you're PC, you play with other PC players, because I know a lot of our friends who want to buy it for a console, and I won't be able to play with them.
I think they've also not committed to whether your character and progression are linked or not. I think they've explicitly said that might be something we would like to do one day, period.
They also said that the PC version would be coming out later than the PlayStation version. They will not be coming out at the same time.
That's not surprising given the fact that they're rebuilding it, or they're building it from scratch. And also, I think they really do want to push PS4 specifically as their primary platform. Like, even this second year, they've had exclusive content on PlayStation first. So
yeah, but I mean, and you're right. I totally understand that. It's just like, if they're gonna, it would have been a lot cooler if like PC and well, it would have been if PC and PlayStation could have launched at the same time and we could all play together. And I understand why there are limitations business wise and technology wise for that, but be a lot cooler if they did.
I think it's more business than technology. And I think that has consistently been the line. Maybe less so for PC and console, but certainly for cross console.
Yeah, but that was good topical news, Ellie. Way to go! Way to bring that up.
It's been a while since I got a Destiny plug-in because I haven't been playing. So
I will definitely. I feel fairly confident. I'm gonna bring that up, and that is a nice integration with Activision because they're all the same corporate family. So everybody get along. I've been playing shitloads of Persona 5. Just great, huge shitloads of it. We started, like I said, Friday morning. I have also been drinking because it's Memorial Day weekend. Yay. And we started Friday morning. We did like 13 hours on Friday and another 10 hours yesterday because we're crazy.
God, I remember those days. Those were good days.
That was our thing. Our theme for this weekend was live like we're 22. And so far, mission accomplished. We ordered pizza and played video games. It's been pretty rad.
I have a question about Persona 5.
Yes, you in the back.
What kind of game is it?
It is a Japanese RPG.
Is it like a top-down sprite-y kind of thing, but not with sprites?
No, it is not. It is third person sort of. It's very Final Fantasy.
Like lower camera angle, so you're kind of behind your character.
Yes, yeah, lower camera angles, so you're behind your character. And then the combat is very much what are they weak to? What element are they weak to? What elements do you have personas for? And try and do it that way. So it is a turn-based combat.
Turn-based or action turn-based?
Yeah, ATB, whatever kind of concept. Yeah. Sort of like, it's a lot like Final Fantasy X in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, but 10 waited, right?
I have never... No, 10 didn't... Oh, yeah.
I think there's a toggle, I think, like there is with 10, where you can have it wait or not wait. It's extremely fucking stylish. It's the most stylish game ever. Like, every time you do...
they're all wearing fedoras and sunglasses stylish? Or are we talking zoot suits here?
That, yes, but also, like... every time your goal in any combat situation is to weaken all of your opponents and then do an all-in attack. And every time you do an all-in attack and it ends, there's kind of a little like 2-second cutscene with one of the characters and looking really cool and like flashes of light. It's just like even the menus are extremely stylized and kind of you like run through the little summary of your combat every time. It's hard to explain without actually seeing it. It's just they've clearly thought about every visual element of the game and how to just amp it up so everything is very visually appealing and stylish. And the other thing I love about Persona games is like a lot of games when you get into combat, they play that like, kind of like combat music, like, you know, you're about to fight and you know you're getting in combat in Persona because they play really jazzy, like we're grooving now kind of music. I love it. It's definitely, and because sometimes with combat you do kind of sit back and think and be like, okay, who should I have move next and what skills should I have them use and whatnot. It's very suitable instead of doing like the amped up, you know, sting of combat. It's just like, okay, we're doing combat now. Yeah.
So I've never played a Persona game ever, any Persona game. I know nothing about it. But people will not stop talking about Persona 5.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well, they were all in like Vita and shit before, right?
Persona 4, which came out quite a while ago, and then they sort of did a version of it for the Vita, which was actually probably the only game to do really well on Vita. Because no one talks about the Vita anymore. But Persona 4 Golden is the Vita version. They've also done like a Persona 4 dancing game, rhythm dance game, because everyone loves those characters. And so they've been kind of using them over and over again. The whole thing with Persona is you're a high school student. You're always a high school student in any of the 5 Persona games. And you have your cool high school buddies. And you usually have to like solve crimes or go into, in this case, you have to go into people's mind palaces to fight evil things.
Mind palace.
Their mind
palace.
Because
I do enjoy fighting crime.
I thought, yeah, well, you have to go in the mind palace. It's extremely Japanese. But then in between, you need to level up your social links with all your friends and various people you meet in the community to gain skills from that. You need to train up your skills. So, for example, I had to hustle and study at the cafe because we had exams. And it was... So I... Yes, that is correct. So I had to hurry.
Sounds like the nightmares that I have when I'm too stressed.
If you want to 100% the game, you need to be extremely rigorous with how you spend your time. If you just want to have a good time like I'm doing, you don't need to worry about that so much. The game is actually sort of designed to be played through twice to sort of be able to see everything.
It's a JRPG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And very much so, it follows all the usual rules. I am not being that strict as far as 100%ing my way through because I just want to have a good time and not look stuff up. But the rule in Persona is you never want to just like waste an afternoon. I wandered around and didn't do anything. You always want to be like, well, let's go work out at the gym or let's go to eat a burger. You have to go eat a burger, eat progressively larger burgers to increase a certain stat. So that, or like go train or go hang out with your buddies to improve your social links or that sort of thing. So you're always consistently doing things, except for exam week when you don't have any time to do things. Goddamn exams.
Weird fucking game.
Yeah.
JRPG.
JRPG. One of the things I added in this one is because you get asked questions in class and also you have exams in which you're asked questions and you can hit one of the buttons on the PlayStation to see what everyone else answered. So it's kind of like phone a friend and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And it helps a lot because I don't know the answers to a lot of these things.
What kind of questions are they?
There are math questions. There are philosophy questions. There are, fortunately, this is the one I can do, English language questions because, of course, it's originally a Japanese game. I was out for about 6 or 8 months in Japan before the translation made it to here. So they do like colloquial English questions, which thank God I can actually answer. But
this reminds me of Suikoden 2, which had the Iron Chef minigame.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There is one of your social links. You build it up by progressively learning more about coffee and making a better and better cup of coffee.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
And then what you learn about coffee, you might have to like answer in like a crossword puzzle later to level up your knowledge. It's so good. And I have to, like, I know I said this before and I know it's really hard to imagine. It's just so stylish and all the characters look so good. The costumes are so good and the flips and oh my God. And it's beautiful. And I mean, you
really
do
don't strike me as a JRPG person though.
It's
Sorry?
No, I mean, it doesn't, like, this kind of intense grinding. I didn't know they still made those games, and it didn't seem like one of those things that you would be into. No, like, people are still trying to get you to finish Final Fantasy VII.
It's also like a weird anime, like, cartoony game, right?
This one, Persona 5 in particular, the cutscenes are full-on anime style. So...
And what have you done with Lior?
Well, maybe...
Are
you sure it's a Japanese game and not a Korean game? Because then I can get
that would be more.
Oh yeah, that would make way more sense.
That would make more sense. To be fair, Vajra was into Persona before me, and that was one of the things that we did when we first started dating was we played Persona 4 together. So I might be a little bit biased because of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's fine.
It all comes clear now.
Got a little meet cute story, but they are really really fun, and because you do a lot of grinding in people's mind palaces. Which I'm never going to get tired of saying. It's important for the combat to be interesting and visually appealing and not to get sick of it. And they do a really nice job of I don't know. Like I said, there's the groovy music. I have to obey the groovy music.
Also, Mind Palace.
Mind Palace. Welcome to my Mind Palace. Yeah, and their Mind Palaces are all based on people's evil characteristics, so they all have different designs to them. Like, for example, the first Mind Palace you go to is the mind of a very, very bad chauvinist man, and his Mind Palace has some very interesting architectural features.
Is it made of dicks? It's made of dicks, isn't it?
You do actually fight a monster that does kind of look like it's just a big old weird dick. Yeah. Yeah, you do. But also he's got pillars made out of like lady butts and stuff. And
how do you make a pillar out of a...
Yeah,
I don't like see how...
I know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But
okay.
Mind Palace. And then like you have a talking cat. It always tells you to go to bed.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, why would you not have a talking cat? I mean,
right. Yeah, exactly. But it's super duper fun. If anyone has played the previous Personas and enjoyed them, I can't imagine why you wouldn't be playing Persona 5 right now. But if you're not, go play it because it is a lot like Persona 4. They just sort of really tweaked things for, I mean, Persona 4, it's like 5 years old or something. It's an old game. So they really just kind of updated all the mechanics and everything. But fundamentally, it's the same game that you know and love. There's lots of grinding. There's lots of looking awesome in high school clothes. And I have to get a part-time job. Where am I going to get my part-time job? Do I go to the florist shop? Do I work in the udon store? I don't know. It's very important. So that's what I've been doing for like the last 24 hours and what I will continue to be doing for the next 24 hours. Everyone's just like, yes.
Awesome.
Yes. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I've been playing is just constant Persona 5. It's real good. We were briefly talked about Andromeda.
Are you going to finish it?
Persona 5, I will finish Persona 5. We want to do the New Game Plus playthrough because there's a bunch of cool things associated with it.
I guess you have Vajra looking over your shoulder to make sure you make it to the end.
It actually, with a grindy game, it really helps to be able to trade off the controller to people.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll just sit there and work on crafting or play on my phone or whatever, and he'll be, you know, doing the steering, and then we can take turns. And it's much easier for grinding to have two people. We talked about Mass Effect Andromeda because I know, Ellie, you're still playing it, and I was going to talk about why I didn't finish it. Which I didn't. I didn't finish it. I was getting really close to the end. I was almost there. I had a couple of fetch quests left to do, and then it was the final confrontation. And then BioWare announced that they are putting the Mass Effect franchise on ice, was their exact term.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yes. They announced that about 3 weeks ago. I guess Andromeda did not do very well.
It made a shit ton of money, though, so I don't...
Right?
But it's the second game in a row that had similar problems for me, so...
You mean second Mass Effect game, or are you talking about Inquisition?
No, second BioWare game. Yeah, I'm talking about Inquisition. I feel like this whole fucking game is the Hinterlands.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that is, I'm making my way through it, but I took about a three week break here from Andromeda. Between when I started Kadara and when I next went back to my ship, and that's a huge problem. One of the things that I dislike the most about Andromeda is that it's so easy to fall into a planet and just want to complete that planet and have a shit ton of stuff just happen. But I'm not like the loading between the things is a pain in the ass, and getting from your ship to the ground and back to your ship and then over to the other planet just takes so fucking like many loading screens and stupid like unskippable cutscenes. And I just don't feel like it kind of guides me at all. In the same way that Inquisition, I actually thought Inquisition was better because Inquisition felt like it more clearly marked the things that were story from the things that were not story necessary. Yeah. This one, I don't actually know which things, like, I look at my map, I have no idea which thing like actually advances something, which thing's just a stupid side mission, which thing is like a side mission but gives you a reward. Like I'm completing it all, and as I don't think that I have I'm going to slog my way through it because like I've come this far and I kind of want to finish it. But
yeah, I really enjoyed Andromeda. I would have enjoyed it more if it had been about 20% shorter. There's just a lot of fetch quests, and like, it's particularly if I tend to do all the side quests and then I'll do the main story to progress. And then I'll do all the side quests up because you want to do everything. And when you do that, I find like at this point at the end, I just have a lot of like, fly here and pick up this for so-and-so, fly there and pick up this for so-and-so, fly here. And it's just like you say, there's a lot of, it's tedious to fly around and just do like quick hits on planets.
And then they opened up a shitload more planets randomly, or systems. And like, now I have to go scan everything again. And that sucked.
Yeah, I don't like the scanning so much because I mean that was one of the things I liked about Mass Effect 1 was sort of the feeling of it's a great big universe out there.
Yeah, but Mass Effect 1, you landed on the planet and drove around and like dicked around in your Mako. This is like click in here, wait for the loading screen, click the button, click over here, click. It's like way more like Mass Effect 2 scanning than Mass Effect 1 scanning, I think.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I am on the same wavelength. And then once they announced that the Mass Effect franchise is on ice, which means we won't be seeing an Andromeda 2 for quite some time. And I hear there are questions that go unanswered at the end. There's kind of a setup for Andromeda 2. And I was just so bummed because this is like my favorite game series. And I feel unfairly it's been put on ice because I think, okay, there were some technical problems with the game, a lot of which have been improved over the last few patches. But I also think that BioWare was targeted for bullshit by unscrupulous people, and now we don't get any more Mass Effect because of it. And it pisses me off to the point where I never played the game again.
It Also, I mean, Andromeda was built by a third tier system with no AAA support. They'd never done any AAA before this. And so it seemed like it was built strangely to begin with. I don't know. So like that entire studio is now just what, support?
Yeah,
Is
it got dismantled. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, so why did they send the entire game to this studio to begin with? It's like I don't know if they had like, we have to get a Mass Effect out per contract to EA, and all of our other studios are busy, because they accidentally announced Dragon Age 4 without actually announcing it, which is one of my favorite news stories. Yeah, by the way, here's our exclusive interview with the dev who is writing Dragon Age 4. Shh, don't say it's Dragon Age 4, but everyone knows it's Dragon Age 4.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, who knows the future, and I make all kinds of strange proclamations I don't follow through on. But I am not happy with BioWare and with the way this all was handled, and I'm not super inclined to invest in Dragon Age 4 right now. I mean, I didn't even finish Andromeda, and that's so weird for me.
But Dragon Age 4 is coming from Edmonton, so that's the main studio, right?
Oh, I know.
You're just angry with BioWare in general.
I'm just angry with BioWare.
Is it the same studio that made Inquisition? Because I'm not sure I want to play Inquisition 2.
It's not Inquisition 2.
I know, but I don't like that style of game. Is like
we don't even know if it's the same style of game. I mean, none of the Dragon Age games were the same style. None of them. So we have no idea where they're going.
I kind of know what you mean, though, Allie. Like they were really happy with Inquisition, and they kind of said we're going to do our future games in this style, and it didn't work out so well for Andromeda. And I don't know. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just excited to enter.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's totally fair.
There are lots of
there's lore answers I need.
There are lots and lots of reasons to be excited about Dragon Age 4, and it's unlikely that I will skip it. The big open world sort of story, but like story driven, but without actually driving you through the story game is like, if I'm going to do like a big open world game, I kind of want it to be about the open world, not about a story that I feel like I'm not actually being told. And like, and I get that, like, being like the discovery of a story in an open world game is a different genre, right? Than a storytelling game, I guess. And recently we've gotten a lot of games that kind of tried to mix those things pretty tightly. Horizon Zero Dawn definitely tried to mix it in the same way as Inquisition and Andromeda, right? And just like, it's a lot of that versus like I don't know, I mean, Uncharted, or like games that are like, here's a story, play through this story, right? That's I kind of feel like I want some more of those right now. But maybe that's just right now because I played like 3 in a row.
Yeah, I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn and Inquisition both did this really successfully because the story that pops up as you explore, the exploratory story that you find, is related to the area in which you're finding it.
Yeah.
Like the vistas in Horizon Zero Dawn, or, you know, pieces, codexes that you pick up, codices, whatever, I don't speak Latin, that you pick up in Inquisition are all related to that place, which made it feel more real and more organic to me. And I think that's what Andromeda is missing. It doesn't feel connected. I've kind of always felt that way about the Mass Effect Codex, even in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like the Codex would pop up and I wouldn't even know about it until, like, you know, an hour later, I'm in the menu for some other reason. Oh, look, there are things in the Codex to read. What does that mean? What does it have to relate to anything? I don't care. Just give me a novel.
That's a huge part of Destiny's story. Took a lot of shit for burying the whole story in the Grimoire cards, which are the same things. And you unlock them from some things, and some of them I think just pop up. I'm not really sure. I think some of them are even like, kill 500 of this enemy type, and all of a sudden you get a fucking Grimoire card about the Taken or whatever, and now you can go read a little story thing. And if you put all the story together, it's clear that some people spent a bunch of time putting together a really potentially interesting world, and then we're told that that was not the focus of the game for whatever reason.
Isn't a lot of it like outside of the actual game too?
Yeah, I think maybe the place where you can read all the in-depth codexes is either in the phone app or on the website.
Fuck that.
Well, the good news is that there's a shitload of loading time, so you might as well play. You might as well open the phone companion app and do something while you're waiting for your goddamn shit
Jesus
to load.
Christ.
Woo!
You're not really turning me on to Destiny
It
here.
might be better. Well, but on the PC you can always tab out.
That's true, but still.
Anyway, I feel the Mass Effect, my favorite game IP, has been done by poorly. So
Yeah, that's fair. And I actually really like the characters, and the character interactions in this game are super interesting. And part of the frustration with the not going back to the ship is I know that you can go to the little like rally points or whatever and change your party, but I almost never do except when I'm leaving the ship, because when I'm leaving the ship is when it feels like my characters are in a position where somebody new could come, and it's just the way I do it. So I end up with like Drac and Vetra for all of Kadara, which is fine because
yeah, that sounds good to me.
But then I started bringing Drac and PB, and Drac and PB are interesting together. And before that, I had Liam with me for like a whole planet, and I hated it. And I just never stopped bringing him because it was like, because I'm just out in the field the whole time, right? And I never like felt like I went back to the ship, even though like I could have and should have just dropped him.
I definitely need to play it on PC with the banter trigger. I think that would definitely be great.
I think that would be good. And I'm sure eventually I will go back and finish off the game. But I was just kind of like, well, I know for a fact that, the story leaves cliffhangers, and I'm maybe never going to know. So...
Yeah, story leaving cliffhangers make that
that's frustrating.
Yeah, cliffhangers combined with we're not making another Mass Effect game maybe ever, at least not for a long time.
Well, maybe they'll put out a little DLC to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, we got to stop encouraging them to do that.
I wasn't encouraging. I was just
No, I know. Totally. So anyway,
I don't mind DLC with additional story. Like I don't mind paying for a DLC epilogue. I think that's fine, as long as the original story has an ending. I mean, leaving lore questions hanging, I'm totally cool with that. That's part of the wonder of the world. That's why fanfic exists. That's why I read it and write it. Shh, don't tell. But like actually not ending the story, that makes me a little uncomfortable. Like, I think Trespasser with Inquisition was done really well. And I think actually all the Dragon Age games have done that really well with a DLC that ties to the next game. And I think that's been super successful. But the noise I've been hearing about Andromeda is that it is not as clean an ending as you've gotten on any of the 3 Dragon Age games.
That's what I've heard as well.
Was the writing crew different too?
Yes. Everyone was different.
There's a lot of the writing in Andromeda that's really good. Like some of the side quests are really good. We've talked before about like the emails are great. Some of the interactions between our companions are great. Yep. Some of it's good. And they have, I did watch a before and after comparison, I think patch 4.6, something 0.6 just came out. 1.6?
They're on 1.07 because I was
okay. Okay, so 1.06 brought in a whole bunch of new animations, and if you compare them to launch, the animations, which people rightly call janky, have gotten vastly better. And they managed to fix the eye stalk, so the eyes actually look at where you are. So that's cool. Way better. So, I think there's probably some internal questions that people at BioWare are probably asking about why did we have to patch that in? I don't know. Like, I don't know the history behind that, but yeah. Yeah,
the whole game feels like it got rushed at the end without enough QA. Like there's so many things. It's like, did anybody play this game? I don't understand how you like get a gold copy or whatever it is that's ready to go, even expecting a day 1 patch. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, done software development, I get that you never ship anything that's actually right. Especially these days, but like there was a lot of stuff that was like really like just didn't work. Like maybe I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to finish my quests.
that we could have broken?
Yeah, there's this. Yeah, probably never. They'll just be always in my quest log, and I want to just like mark them as actually done so that I don't have to see them anymore, but I can't.
Because the quest log is terrible.
It is really bad. And yeah, there are a lot of issues with Andromeda, so I will not finish at this point in time. Instead, once I'm done Persona, I will go play Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I should.
That's worth it. You should do that. And that also has its own problems, but at least it's different in an interesting way.
Nice.
It's really pretty.
It's really pretty. Yeah, that's true. Well, so is Andromeda.
Yeah.
Andromeda's really pretty. There are parts where you're like flying through the galaxy and you pass like a black hole or something, and it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty. They did and
I like my Ryder. I like Ryder. Ryder seems like a cool lady.
Ryder's grown on me because I've given into the like snarky young out of her depth thing, and like even when she's trying to be all like hard and good, it's like I just like went with it. She's young. She's not going to go like hit on any of the people that are too old for her.
Right. Yeah, and that's part of
the acting is consistently great.
Yeah. That's part of why I'm so frustrated, because I felt like this was a lot of my issues with Andromeda could be answered by, well, this is just the beginning of this person's arc, of Ryder's arc, and eventually she too will become, a mature, whatever, Pathfinder space captain type, whatever. And now we might never see that happening. It makes some of those issues a lot less forgivable.
Yeah, well, and Pathfinder is different than N7 too, right? So like the way she needs, I don't know, needs is the wrong word, but like the way like, I want her to act is like slightly different, even though they're both kind of like leader people. But like even like the other characters, like the dumbass characters, some of them,
I think you mean Liam.
I mostly mean Liam. I was trying so hard to like make Ryder find a way to get with Liam as like the other young, inexperienced person on the ship, and I just can't do it. I totally told him I was like, you're my bro, and
I super appreciate him as a character. I really like the idea that there is a member of the cast who is always, so chaotic good that think later, help people now. Whoops, I've accidentally blown up an entire planet. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I still want to beat the crap out of him. Seriously, Liam, sit down and shut up and listen for a while.
I know. I was totally going to romance Liam because I thought he was hot, but then he spoke, and then I was like, no.
But those abs though.
My shepherd ended up romancing PB my Ryder, ended up romancing PB because I was kind of waiting for Jal, but Jal kept being like, let's hold hands. I'll introduce you to my mom, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
at least PB's like, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Zero G
missed out though.
0G space banging.
Well, if once you go meet his mom, he's done.
Oh, really? That's it? He's
No. He's done being polite.
Oh. Wow, I should have waited a little longer.
Yeah, it gets filthy.
Whoa, I gotta look that up on YouTube later, because he was all like, madam, I hope you know I have peculiar feelings for you. And I was just like, okay, at least PB's just like,
that's I actually really like that about the Angara. Once you get past the whole formality, we have to do all this social shit because otherwise we emotionally cannot handle anything, then I needed to leave the room.
Whoa, I would not have guessed that. I'm going to go to YouTube and watch Tall romances now. That's going to be good. We're wrapping up this episode because I have to go.
That was a great thing to end on.
That was.
Oh my stars. There was some pearl clutching.
All right, I'm into that. I'm very into that.
I haven't turned him down yet, so
keep that in mind. Filthy Angaran lovin'.
Well, I think PB will keep sleeping with you too, so it's probably fine.
Yeah, she catches feelings pretty fast though.
Yeah, careful. Be careful with the feelings.
That is it for this episode. So what we're saying is we played a lot of games and they're good. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about more games that are good and other things. Did you guys go
American Gods? Very good.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yes.
It was good and I enjoyed it.
There were so many feelings. Why did I felt every feeling. Like that was my entire quota of human feeling.
I want to talk about that too, but it's like, yeah. That's good. It's really good.
Keep talking. I have allergies and now my sneezing's going.
Oh
That's
no.
okay. I'm allergic to human feelings, so
Oh.
There is a moment at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy where there is a funeral. That's all I'll say for people who haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
and
man,
I
yeah.
actually shed a couple of tears in the movie
Yeah.
theater. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is
Jesus
happening
Christ,
to
there
me?
were so many feelings.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not supposed to feel this, but I do.
I do feel it. I'm like, why do I feel this? This is wrong.
Like I basically cried the entire way through that movie, from the Wonder Woman trailer with the Linda Carter theme song on through to the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. I was just a weepy mess the entire time.
That's awesome. Well, we can talk about this in more detail in 2 weeks and other things and games and stuff.
We can
That's
talk
all I
about Wonder
got.
Woman in 2 weeks. Ellie, you're not invited.
You're going to see Wonder Woman in 2 weeks?
Isn't it opening?
I think it
like,
opens next weekend.
Like next weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can talk
I
about-
probably would have seen it, but I will talk about it anyway. Things to say.
I finally watched Ghostbusters.
I loved it.
I didn't see anything wrong with Ghostbusters.
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
people
no.
who didn't like it actually haven't seen the original since they were children.
It's not a great movie.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the whole...
They were real mad that like there were no dudes getting ghost blowjobs. Like I remember that being a repeated issue with the new
what?
Ghostbusters.
Wait, what?
In the original Ghostbusters, there was like the ghost blowjob.
Yeah.
And dudes were real mad. They're like, if it's all women, who's gonna get the ghost blowjob? And that was
I don't
Chris
remember
Hemsworth
that.
is having the time of his fucking life.
It's been a while, I guess.
there you go. So no one got a ghost blowjob. So on to the next movie. We will be back in 2 weeks to talk about things. You can find us online on Twitter at Totally Legit Pub, online at totallylegitpublishing.com/the podcast. All our previous 112-ish episodes. There's a few secret ones that didn't show up. So roughly like 112 episodes are there. And that's it. Thanks for watching and or listening.
Go look up episode 100.
Don't, it doesn't exist.
Oh,
Goodbye.
and change your link in your header, by the way. It still goes to Cat Context.
Oh, thank you. I will. Yeah. So what episode 100 does exist in my mind palace.
Is it made of dicks?